Alright then, hello guys, welcome to another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena draft video, and this is Alan. Let's dive on in, do some more double feature. I've been messing around with this set a couple of times already, and I've lost more than I've paid. So I'm hoping this time I can actually take it seriously and make back most of my gems, which I need to get at least 5 or more. And that's not going to be an easy treat given that there's so many bombs running around and you can easily just lose if you miss your land drop and whatnot. So yeah, we'll definitely do more double feature, and keep in mind I'm almost close to 25 gold for Quick Draft Forgotten Realms. Highly doubt we're going to be showcasing any of that in this video, but hopefully if I can get up to 5 we can do a second draft. So let's get started. And I still believe you should stay open in this format since there's so many powerful bombs from Crimson Vow that's combined in the set with the Innistrad Midnight Hunt rares and mythics as well. So I still think it's important to stay open and just keep taking the best card, even if you do end up in the worst colors. So far, everyone's saying green is kind of like an auto loss. I'm not sure if that's true, since I've actually lost against a fair share of green decks that drop like Avabrook Caretaker or Halana Elena Partners, or even Glorious Sunrise. But I can see the fact that green, given that it was kind of like the weakest color in both sets, both Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt. It's kind of a place to slightly avoid, but definitely, I don't think you should definitely avoid it completely. So with that being said, we all know blue was exciting in Midnight Hunt and pretty decent in Crimson Vow, and I still think it's the best color overall with double feature. Since the commons in Crimson Vow were definitely really flat compared to Midnight Hunt. Midnight Hunt's commons, I don't think it's a huge gap that the red commons in Crimson Vow were something that you want to force even over like a great blue uncommon or a great blue rare. So I still think blue is very strong in Crimson Vow nonetheless. So I'm looking forward to drafting blue. Second best color I think is black, since there's just a high density of powerful black rares in Crimson Vow, and the commons were all really good in both sets. And then white kind of in third place, or close to black. I'm not sure. Really depends. And then red. I think red is actually more closer to white. I don't know. I've actually been impressed with all the colors, but I definitely think blue stands out as the best. And we opened up a pretty nice blue rare to start to draft with. So Mirror Hall Mimic is quite powerful. The nice part about this is, again, if you're able to cast the aura half of it, you can enchant a creature and then just make copies of it every upkeep. I'm more excited to put the aura half onto the opponent's creature, since they're less likely to kill their own creature just to prevent this from going off. But sometimes if you enchant your own creature and the opponent has a removal spell, that can be kind of awkward, and then you don't get value off the Mirror Hall Mimic. So I do prioritize enchanting the opponent's creature and hope we have enough ways to block it to prevent it from forcing it to attack all the time, since we don't want it to die. So yeah, Mirror Hall Mimic, pack 1, pick 1's nice. Geistflame Reservoir can also be a cute build around, since there's not much in this pack I'm too excited about. The commons are just kind of weak, and they're just mostly role players in other decks. So there's the second pick could be Geistflame Reservoir for maybe a blue-red spells deck, which is also kind of fun to build around, but nice pack 1, pick 1 rare. So this pack is also not very exciting. I don't really like Slaughter Specialists. This is at its best in the black aggressive deck, like red-black, but the fact that it gives the opponent a resource isn't what I want. Bloodseeker is not amazing in blue-black by any means. It's only decent in black-red and white-black, where you can gain a ton of life. Purifying Dragon is a pretty nice top-end card to have if we end up blue-red somehow, which I could be tempted to take. And blue-red can be a pretty fun deck to play, even though it doesn't focus primarily on creatures. Alternatively, there's some solid role players if we end up blue-white, which is a top-tier archetype like Nurturing Presence, which I would take over Heron Blessed Geist. So I could consider Nurturing Presence, but I don't know, it's just enough weaker than, say, Purifying Dragon that I'm just going to take it here. And just, again, stay open. I'm not going to avoid red, by any means, or green. So just take what I think is the best card. And ooh, Diver Scob and Lantern Bearer are both excellent. The best card in this pack is Right, if you aren't staying open. But I think it's Diver Scob here as a great interaction spell, and a creature you can play down on turn 5. Not sure if it's better than Lantern Bearer early on. So usually Lantern Bearer is great because it fits the role in any blue deck. It's a nice Disturb aura, and it's also a creature you can exploit. But finding good exploit outlets is really difficult, a little bit more difficult than finding good exploit fodder like the Lantern Bearer. So I think I take Diver Scob here over Lantern Bearer, but they're actually pretty close here, funny enough. Yeah, I don't know. I could see taking Lantern Bearer just because it's cheaper and hope the Diver Scob wheels, which is maybe correct. You know what? I'm going to take Lantern Bearer over Diver Scob. I think they're both actually very close, but I'm just going to take it for because it's just a cheaper card to play, and there's a chance we don't end up in blue black, and Diver Scob isn't as amazing as it would be in blue black compared to blue white. Okay, I don't like Storm Chaser Drake as much in this set. Again, with both sets combined, it gets a little bit worse since you don't always get a bunch of auras to attach onto Storm Chaser Drake. But now with the Lantern Bearer and Mirror Hall Mimic, I don't mind throwing this in. Otherwise, Flip the Switch is quite decent too. A good counter spell that makes a zombie token. And then I'm not sure if I want to pivot into blue-green or blue-black yet. So I'll take Storm Chaser Drake here. There's also Delver's Secrets if we end up blue-red with a lot of instances and sorcery, it's fine. This pack is kind of unexciting, but I don't mind the Screaming Swarm as a way to potentially mill ourselves to get value. And the funny thing is, if you can't kill your opponent with enough damage in time, you can always just try to mill your opponent out if they're drawing a bunch of cards. So it's a fine 6-drop to have. 6 mana 4/4 flyer is pretty large, and plays really good with Disturb. So we'll take it. And ooh, even the aura coming in late, the 2 mana 2/2 that can become that can give a creature +2/+2 for 4 mana if it's in the graveyard. Yeah, this seems pretty good, especially with Storm Chaser Drake now. And either way, our deck seems like it's positioned to be in a blue-white Flyers deck for the most part. So I actually don't feel bad missing out on the Diver Scob. Since the Diver Scob I think would have been better if we were blue-black exploit. But now we took the gamble, and we get paid a Droxkull Infantry that we can put in the yard. There's also Syncopate to keep ourselves open, but that's a nice gift. And we can even consider Larder Zombie as a way to tap multiple flyers down to surveil our return, which isn't bad, over, I don't know, a bunch of these other cards I don't care about. And we can continue to blue-white train with maybe a Beguiler on 5 as a way to tap a creature down and a decent blocker while our creatures are flying over. This can be fine to block. Witness the Future can be an okay way to prevent decking. Secrets is kind of expensive to get going, and I haven't been impressed by it. Gaze is also whatever, can help us mill and help with the whole Disturb thing, but I'd rather just take the creature. And Locked in the Cemetery. It's going to be difficult to get 5 or more cards in our graveyard unless we're blue-green, but I guess it does kind of fit the theme of Disturb in a bit. So I'll take it over Adamant Will, which is also reasonable. Not sure if I'll play it. And ooh, Terran Blessed Geist gives me a good flyer on turn 5, also a card I don't mind putting in the yard. And given that most of our Disturbed creatures are mostly auras, they're most likely just going to come back as enchantments to enable this. So I'd like this. Also, Selhoff Entomber isn't bad too if we pick up multiple Lantern Bearers and things we don't mind discarding to it. But I'll take the top end flyer here. And then maybe Unblinking Observer can be fine with Disturb since it gives us the extra mana. There's also Militia Rallier as an okay blocker. So blue-white seems quite open. I can even play Siphon Essence if I want. Alright, so and black seems pretty cut off, so I think we found our lane. And Welcoming Vampire is definitely the most powerful card in this pack. So since you can just draw a bunch of cards off this, assuming you can play creature with 2 power or less, and we should have a decent amount in this deck, since Disturbed creatures and tokens aren't necessarily high-powered most of the time. And if we even make a 1/1 Spirit token, it's quite good. So easy Welcoming Vampire. Otherwise, it would be between, like, I guess, Startled and Beloved Beggar. I think Startled might actually be better than Beloved Beggar, even though Beggar has maybe a little more synergy if we're trying to self-mill. But Welcoming Vampire is a nice gift here. I guess this is the 4-drop. Alright, the best card is like Morbid Opportunist. Could even consider Splashing Opportunist here. Otherwise, the other white-blue cards are okay. Consider has a bit of synergy, but it's definitely not the same power level of, say, Morbid Opportunist. If it manages to, um, draw at least 1 or 2 cards, it's already going to make up for itself if the opponent tries to kill it. Seems better than maybe going into blue-red with a Flame Blessed Bolt, or even blue-green with Eccentric Farmer. Let's take an Opportunist, maybe end up splashing it, given how powerful it is, and we can take Traveling Minister. Ooh, Blaze-Stitch Scob is also great, but black didn't seem open in our previous pack. So it's possible that the people from my right-hand side were mostly in blue-black, since we're getting past it from our left-hand side. Yeah, blue-black is probably open for my left, but not for my right, and the right person to my right is probably drafting blue-black zombies. But Traveling Minister is great, helps us enable some attacks, gains us life to help race, and excellent with flyers, since it can pump the power. And Catgeist is decent, but I'm actually liking Revenge of the Drowned as a good interaction spell that can also make a zombie token. Catgeist has a little bit more of the whole Disturb synergy going on. It's pretty decent if you can latch it onto a flyer and start drawing cards. It's not a bad card, but I think I have Revenge higher on my pick order as a powerful bounce spell that makes a zombie token. And the zombie is no joke. The zombie can help you, get into extra damage. Although Catgeist is kind of cute too. Might actually be Catgeist, actually. You know what? Given that we're blue-white and we're trying to fly over, and the fact that this can be an aura creature that can chump, an aura that can go on the Storm Chaser Drake, and an aura that can go into one of our flyers, which is what blue-white is trying to do, I think I'll take the Geist over the Revenge. I can see Revenge being kind of clunky, and if we can always pick up some cheap bounce spells. Falcon Abomination is a clear pickup here. Good flyer, makes a zombie token. And yeah, Catgeist is also just a fine 2-drop too. And I just don't want my curve to be really high, since, again, if we're blue-white, we want to be kind of aggressive, and we don't want too much expensive things going on. Uprising's good, but we'll take a Falcon. You can also consider Dual Land to splash Morbid, but I think Falcon was enough better that we take it. Alright, we could just take Beloved Beggar. If we're trying to fly over, we could use the Fine Ground Blocker. Geist Wave is a decent bounce spell we could even consider as well, if we think we're lacking interaction, but the Nimbleghast Beguiler can tap something down. This can be kind of cute if we find ways to put it in the graveyard, maybe. I'll take the Beloved Beggar. There's a chance we can find some ways to self-mill, and it's just a good blocker. And I like staying on theme sometimes. And, alright, there's Binding Geist, Shipwreck Sifter, and Faithful Mending. Actually don't hate Faithful Mending here. Binding Geist is also fine. As an aura we can get back later. Shipwreck Sifters is a card that can reward us for discarding a bunch of spirits. We currently don't have that many ways to discard spirits, unless we have Faithful Mending itself. So I'll take the Mending over Sifters. Sifters can, get it going early, but I think Mending being able to draw us to 2 extra cards and discard is quite nice. And I'm not sure if we're going to play Fear of Death. Ooh, another Beggar. I don't think we're playing 2 copies, but I'll put 1 in the sideboard. And we'll take a Consider. Don't hate 1 copy of Consider in these blue-white decks. Also, these Eccentric Farmers are being passed, so blue-green self-mill is open. We also saw Shadow Beast Sighting. But I think blue-white is just a better deck to be in, for the most part. So, yeah, the deck looks really cool. And I don't regret passing up the Shipwreck. Shipwreck is, again, a 2-mana 2/3 for the most part in this deck, but it's only going to really reward you if you can keep discarding, whereas Faithful can draw us cards right away. Now, Necroduality is a bomb in blue-black, but but given the fact that we care more about spirits and we don't have any zombies so far, I think we will have to pass it up, unfortunately, and settle with another good 2-drop with Drogskull Infantry. This would be an easy slam dunk pack 1, pick 1 duality to maybe move into force blue-black or reward us for doing this. But we're definitely not in the right deck for it. Rending Flame is probably the second best card, but Infantry is what we need, so we'll keep taking the good Disturbed creatures and load them up. We have the passive Desecrator here. It's between Lantern Bearer and Fierce Retribution. We don't have much removal so far, but another Lantern Bearer is really tempting, I have to admit. We can just go off with a bunch of 1/1 flyers and just win the game. Ah, darn, I hate having the passive Lantern Bearer here, but we might need a removal spell. Like, we have enough flyers, maybe, and we don't have enough removal. Let's take the Fierce Retribution to be safe. Given that I have a Lantern Bearer already, it's just very important that we can at least survive if we're trying to race in the air. And then Circle is a nice gift here. Passing a Cemetery Desecrator, funny enough. So a little bit more removal, and I can see taking second Storm Chaser Drake now that most of our disturbed creatures are auras anyway, so this is the right deck for it. Seems a lot better than like Piercing Lights, Repository Scum. And could take second Consider. There's also Delver, but I don't have that. But blue-white tends to be more creature heavy, so you're not always gonna get this going. I don't think I'm splashing Flesh Taker here. Just take a second Consider, and then could use Alchemist Retrieval or Gavny Trapper, or actually the Evolving Wilds for Morbid Opportunist. Darn, I mean, Morbid Opportunist is just too good, right? Yeah, this card is just insane. I gotta take the dual land here and try to splash for Morbid Opportunist. Otherwise, it'd probably be maybe Trapper as a creature that can tap things down, or Alchemist Retrieval. Panic Bystander is also okay, but let's take Evolving Wilds and try to make this work, and then we'll take a good top end flyer. A Soul Guide Gryph can also help us close out, and take it from there. Scour Thoughts is a nice gift, good 4-drop that can draw some cards, make us discard, put things in the yard for disturb synergy purposes. So I'll put these into the sideboard for now. And I'm kind of liking just playing a bunch of big flyers, so I don't hate the Screaming Swarm. And Scour Thoughts is nice here. So the fact that Spirit can't block isn't great, but if it could block, it'd be a reasonable playable in the blue-white deck, but I really don't like it if it can't block. Could play Gryph Rider actually. We might not have not a lot of ways to pump it, but we have a decent amount of like 3 powered flyers on turn 5 plus the Screaming Swarm, and it's a flyer itself, so I actually don't hate it in this deck. Because we're trying to be kind of aggressive with our flying creatures, so having the Gryph Rider isn't a bad way to kind of close out the game. So, really interesting deck. I think I can afford to just put in one swamp for the Morbid Opportunist. I can take the risk and go 2 swamps, but I've done double planes before for like a splashed Edgar Markov without Evolving Wilds, and it's still fine, so I think it's okay. Plus we do have some card draw going, so maybe just going 1 swamp plus Evolving Wilds is enough to splash for our broken Morbid Opportunist. And then I think it's definitely 17 lands, given that we have a 6-drop, so we can throw in an island and maybe an extra plains, because we're slightly favoring white a bit, and 17 lands seems fine. So we just need to fit in 3 more playables in this deck. What do we need? So I'm actually happy that we took the Fierce Retribution in Confinement. Liking the 5s. I'm actually liking the Nebelgas Beguiler as a way to tap something down. So this is kind of our curve. Looks really nice. Minister into a flyer would be amazing. And then the Cat Ice enchanting onto one of our flyers is very good as well. So this deck looks sweet. So what do we want to just throw in as our final card, or our final 3 cards? What is the deck missing? We have enough flyers. I don't think I need Wanderlight Spirits. There's a random counterspell that we can throw in. It's pretty decent with Scatter Thoughts. But we're mostly a tap-out deck, and I don't see a ton of flash creatures to play along with it. And we don't have that many instances, so I don't really like the Siphon Essence. Could actually consider 1 copy of Locked in a Cemetery, funny enough. Or I guess Fear of Death could be reasonable, since the Self-Mill could be quite nice, and we're looking to race in the air, so we don't necessarily need to. We don't necessarily care if the opponent still has a big ground blocker. So I actually don't hate Fear of Death. It's actually pretty decent with all this disturb going on. Like Heron Blessed Geist going to graveyard is not the worst. Same with the Mirror Hall Mimic. Same with Cat Geist, Infantry, and Lantern Bearer. So we have a decent amount of stuff that rewards us for self-milling. So Fear of Death isn't bad. Could throw in 1 copy of Consider. It's never wrong as well. just as a way to help us smooth out our draws in the early game in case we end up in a weird spot where we can't seem to hit our lands, for instance. And then now it's between like Larder Zombie and Beloved Beggar. Since we're mostly going to end up attacking with our flyers, I don't think we have enough creatures to just always tap down to Surveil. It's kind of cute though. I mean, I could still play it because I've been kind of down on Beloved Beggar even in a Strong Midnight Hunt. I don't think it was that great of a card. It's a good blocker in the early game, and then later on, sure, it can come back as a big flyer, but it's still 6 mana to get back. But I mean, it can still go into Yard for value, which I don't hate. And again, it's still fine blocker. Question is, are we afraid that we're going to end up flooding? We have Scatter Thoughts and Morbid, which can draw some cards. The auras can also just end up in the graveyard for value. Faithful Mending can draw us cards, so we might not need the Larder Zombie. We could just throw in one Beloved Beggar to test it out and see how it goes. And Blinking Observer, even though it gives us a bit of mana for some of our instances in Disturb, it's kind of underwhelming as a 2-drop. So, yeah, I guess I don't hate this. I could also just cut to Consider, actually, and throw in Larder Zombie, which I don't hate. In that it doesn't draw us a card like Consider, but at least it can help us filter if we end up in the late game. This is like better in the long game, whereas this is better like if in the earlier portion of the game, if you're able to just use this like once or twice. But Larder Zombie being able to block is nice, especially if we're going to fly over as a win con. Like we have some early creatures to maybe trade off. But Larder with like Falcon Abomination can be kind of cute. Yeah, I don't hate this deck. Seems fine. And yeah, can see myself running this. There's a locked, if we get 5 or more cards in the graveyard, can be okay as well, and it can tap something down. But I mean, that's what Fear of Death is for, I think. It's just a lot better than locked in this deck since we're looking to put stuff in the yard at times, which could be quite relevant. What I don't like is accidentally milling away our swamps, so I could consider throwing in an extra swamp into the deck just to be safe, but I think we're fine. So let's give this a shot, see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, interaction, let's count this again. 1. Yeah, we need the extra fear, I think, to prevent us from getting run over. So let's give this a shot. Blue-white flyers. So this is like our 4th blue-white draft on this channel for double feature. Mimic seems fine, which was already our picture. Okay. We'll make some sideboard considerations once we lose our first game, or if the game we are trying to win has some issues. Like if we're not impressed with, for example, Fear of Death, we could consider cutting it. But Locked in Cemetery also just doesn't seem amazing. Unless the creature's already tapped, not sure. Okay, opening hand, Minister, all 3 of our colors, perfect. So we could lead with Minister to gain a bit of life, or maybe Lantern Bearer to be more aggressive. Probably fine with Lantern Bearer. I mean, since we're tight on blue mana and we have 3 blue spells, it's just important to get the blue mana early. Now we have 2 blue mana, so never mind. If he misses the land drop, then we can block it. If he does, we probably don't want to block this, since he can force the pump. Timberland Guide, kind of annoying, so now this is a 2/2 or a 4/4. So we need to find maybe a Fierce Retribution for it, so we'll take 2. And then we'll leave the Lantern Bearer back to block, hold off the 1/1. But for now, we just want to play a Storm Chaser Drake. And then stay back. Next turn we can double spell. Take a bit of a beating from this Snarling Wolf. Could always chump with the Lantern Bearer, enhance the Storm Chaser Drake, and draw a card. That's going to use up a lot of our mana, however, and it doesn't really help us race. So I'm fine blocking the Lantern Bearer and offering to trade here. And then next turn we can still attack with Drake. I'm fine if he pumps as well. So I think I just want to develop the board instead of drawing a bunch of cards. There's always the argument of throwing in the Falcon Abomination too, but Traveling Master being able to gain us life over and over is quite nice. So we can help offset the life loss that we're taking from this random Snarling Wolf, so this is fine. I'm surprised the last turn the opponent main phased the Timberland Guide. I guess he would have only gotten in for one. So let's see here. Probably just take 2 here, and then boarded window's interesting. I'm actually hoping he attacks here so I can block. But if not, I'm still fine, maybe. I guess I want a Lantern Bearer next turn. I'm actually fine with the trade here, because this can get out of hand. Alright, so this is okay. Ooh, Morbid Opportunist. Very interesting, but no creatures are going to die yet. I might want to Scatter Dots and get some lands going, or maybe just Lantern Bearer here, draw a card could be nice. Or maybe just develop the board instead. So, what does this give? -1 to -0, so I can still deal up to 2 damage to him. Next turn, if I play the Falcon, I can maybe destroy the boarded window, so let's apply a little bit more pressure. Gain some life, attack for 3, and hope I don't die to a sweeper. 2, I mean, so if I enhance the Storm Chaser Drake next turn and attack, that should be 4 to destroy boarded window, or if I send in the zombie token as well. So I could consider the Morbid Opportunist as well, so this puts a halt to my game plan, given that it blocks the 2/2 zombie. Or I can pump the 2/2 zombie, but if I pump the 2/2 zombie, the boarded window is still going to give it -1, -0, so it still can't attack past the 2/3. So let's see here, I guess we can play land, and we want to Lantern Bearer onto the Storm Chaser Drake, since this will do 2 and 1 damage, and I want to destroy this boarded window given that I want to race, so let's do this instead. Draw a card, and then, yeah, we can pump any one of these, don't think it matters. And then by playing a spell, we can at least prevent this from turning nighttime, and boarded window can die, so then we can start out racing him. So this was essentially almost a dead card from the opponent. Don't ever play this card, it's bad. In a control deck, it could be alright, but I still don't want it, still don't prioritize it. So now with these, the fact that we decide to double spell instead of casting our expensive cards, our hand is kind of clunky, but I think it was still kind of correct to get on the battlefield. Otherwise, we wouldn't have traded off for Snarling Wolf with the 2/1, the other 2/1 that we have, or develop the Traveling Minister to gain life, or put out the Falcon Abomination. So opponent's gonna cast Lacerate Flesh here to slow me down. I guess I can now cash in the Morbid Opportunist if I want to. I don't hate throwing in the Morbid Opportunist. The next turn is funny. We can even copy it with the Mirror Hall Mimics. So yeah, let's cash in this zombie token and draw a card. Draw cards. He could have removal for Morbid. I can try to enchant my Falcon to make another Decayed Zombie next turn as well. So there's a lot of options. I could also Scatter Thoughts and try to find a 3-drop for the most part. Gets back, discards Electric Rev. So this seems like a red-green good stuff deck, with maybe a bit of a werewolf theme. Ooh, Howlpack Piper. I could copy Howlpack Piper, not sure that accomplishes anything either. Maybe the game plan is just to copy the Falcon and then try to win in the air, and hope he doesn't drop like a random Falcon Abomination in front of us. Because if I copy the Howlpack Piper, I won't be able to activate the ability anyways. So I think we just need to be aggressive and just deploy as many bodies as much as possible. So I will Mirror Hall Mimic, copy my Falcon Abomination, and hope he doesn't have mana. I guess he can always respond. But yeah, we just want to get as many flyers out. Pump the Falcon and hit for 3. He could Flame Bless Bolt it, that could be kind of annoying. But again, I still have a second flyer to follow up with. And we just want to end this game quickly before he, for example, ramps out a Bramble Worm out of nowhere. And at least it still stays daytime. Fine playing out my land because there's a chance I could Scatter Thoughts and play another spell, so. Hopefully he doesn't get the Bramble Worm out, otherwise I'd I'd be in trouble. That's kind of like the only card that can save him here. A random reach creature can also give him an extra turn too. He can activate Howlpack Piper twice and then transform it and draw a card. But yeah, it seems like the opponent doesn't even want to try, so. I mean, he could have. The thing is, I don't think it was right for him to concede unless he knew for sure there was no way for him to deal with the Falcon Abominations. Since he could have also, I guess, flashbacking the Electric Rev would have been too much mana, but he could have at least used the Blood Token to maybe loot and maybe find an answer, and then use the Howlpack Piper for 2 mana to maybe bring out like even a Apprentice. Luckily, that game we faced, the opponent didn't have like a Vampire's Vengeance, which would have completely destroyed us. But that was a fair match. They didn't do anything too busted with our deck. And there was some questionable plays, like the opponent attacking with the Snarling Wolf. But either way, I would have just attacked him with the 2/2 flyers back and and the opponent was forced to kind of be in this racing situation. Alright, opening hand, what do we see? Traveling Minister. Alright, I don't hate just playing out Minister, gaining a bit of life, and then Evolving Wilds as a sack to find our Swamp for Morbid. We'll try it. It could be reasonable to actually play the Evolving Wilds first, actually. Just in case we find a 2-drop. Yeah, there's an argument for just doing that. Are we like that? I think it's fine getting the Minister just to be annoying. Next turn we'll drop the Evolving Wild. I mean, we don't even need to find a Swamp, honestly. Like, if we find, for example, the Drake, we're fine just casting this on turn 3. It's not like we want the Morbid Opportunist out ASAP, because it just ends up getting killed by the Silverbolt, so. Alright, we'll just play Evolving Wilds and pass. Opponent might just have all the removal for our creatures. I don't want to throw the Morbid in front of this Silverbolt, but I might have to. Find our black mana. And hope we get a good top deck. Catgeist isn't the worst. Catgeist, however, can't really attack past the 2/3. If I play Morbid, he's just going to kill it, so we'll play the Catgeist. Next turn, maybe we can Mirror Hall Mimic like his Morning Patrol, and if it ends up dying, we can always use this as an aura that can make a million Morning Patrols and take it from there. I will take 2. Stensia Uprising, alright, that's a scary card. Storm Chaser Drake can become a flyer. I think we Mirror Hall Mimic the 2/3, so we have a good blocker at the very least. I know it's not a bomb, but it's still a way to keep preventing us from taking damage, and maybe hopefully bait out the Silverbolt. Because I can't afford to take infinite damage if the opponent keeps cast with the Stensia Uprising on the battlefield, otherwise, he's just going to burn me out with the Uprising, so I need to be careful here. If the opponent kills the Morning Patrol, again, I can just enchant his Morning Patrol, take another damage, and take it from there. Alright, just makes a token, that's fine. And then I could Scour Thoughts and try to hit my land drop here, or just Double Spell. Double Spelling also isn't bad. Maybe I can force the Silverbolt here, and then maybe once Morbid can resolve, we should be fine, so. I'm fine with the Drake, and if he wants to use removal on it, be my guest. No reason to attack, and we can block all day. Alright, that's fine. Rip Storm Chaser. And no attacks. We have a second Storm Chaser. And it seems like maybe the opponent could just be drawing not a ton of good stuff here. Geist is kind of annoying. Land into Beguiler also wouldn't be the worst. Soulguy Gryph also. Could Scour Thoughts main phase to hit my land drop. But I think it's fine using at instant speed. Although I am guaranteed to want to land anyway, so I might as well just main phase it. And then I'm fine putting Lantern Bearer into the graveyard and take Island and Welcoming Vampire here. So getting some of that good value. Could have also just gotten the Lantern Bearer and the Welcoming Vampire, but I really need to hit my land drop at this point, at this stage in the game. So if he attacks with Twin Blade Geist, I don't mind just blocking it and hope he doesn't enchant his creature, so I can exile with the Soul Guide Gryph eventually. Celebrants is kind of annoying. He can eventually sacrifice this, although he's at 15 permanents, so that's above the spectrum. And it's going to get even higher, so basically he's just going to make a bunch of 1/1s all day, and I can't really afford to keep taking damage. Land would be nice, so I can Welcoming Vampire into Morbid Opportunist as well, and that's good, so let's play lands. Make sure we tap correctly, yep. And then we can play the Morbid Opportunist, be mana efficient, and draw a card. And then maybe Lantern Bearer can fly us over. Say go. I can even double block the Celebrants with my Beloved Beggar just to chump for the turn. And then draw a card. That's actually not bad at all, since the 4/4 has a decent attack on this board. Infiltrator is okay. His plan might just be eventually just to go wide and kill me. Fierce Retribution also isn't bad. I don't really have any ground creatures I'm excited about attacking here, so it could just be Beguiler, draw a card. Attack for 2. Could have main phased it if he had removal. I could have at least drawn a card, but yeah, I should have maybe thought about that. Could have also kept a 1 mana for potential Fierce Retribution, but didn't get punished. So now we can play Screaming Swarm next turn and start attacking. We have some good blockers. The Nemogast Beguiler and Morning Patrol can double block the 4/4. And we can also just draw a bunch of cards too. So if the opponent doesn't all attack, we have. I think we should have enough blockers to mitigate as much damage as possible. Opponent still passes the turn. I guess it's just Screaming Swarm time. I could also play Falcon Abomination, draw a card, but I don't really have any ground creatures I'm excited about getting back. So let's just move to combat. Attack for 2. Could also keep up Beguiler to tap down the 4/4 if he tries to attack with it next turn. That could also be reasonable. And I might want to keep up Fierce Retribution. That's actually not unreasonable at all. Let's do that. Let's make sure we don't tap off all of our white mana. Play Falcon, draw a card, and then we can still keep up Retribution and tap down the 4/4 if he tries to attack with it. I think I'm fine tapping the 4/4 over the Falcon Wrath Celebrants. I guess I can also use Fear of Death. Not sure if I need to do so now. We have 5 cards in the graveyard that can lock something down, but might want to use the Beguiler and get value off of that instead. Not sure. We'll see go. I'll tap down the Harvesttide Infiltrator. And then I'm fine double blocking Ill-Tempered Loner. It's going to be nighttime. Okay, that's going to be rough, so we probably need to take all the damage. Alright, that sucks. I guess we need to just take the 4 damage here, maybe turn it daytime if possible. This is rough. I should have also used the Nimble-Gas Beguiler, but I guess I can use Fierce Retribution on this. Yeah, the Howlpack Piper was a problem. Okay, so before damage, we probably just want to use a Retribution here. Maybe it's fine using on the Celebrants. And let's reread this. Whenever a permanent you control is dealt damage, Howlpack deals that much damage to any target. So if I block a 1/1 here, what happens? The Falcon Abomination dies. I'm not sure if I want that to happen. Maybe it's fine just blocking the 4, letting the Beguiler die. And take it from there. Take 6. This is not good for me. Maybe I do need to just trade a 1/1 for a Falcon Abomination. Guess this can block 2. And I guess this can still block a 1/1. He has 2 triggers. He can use this to... Yeah, I think this has to be the block, right? No, it's not very good. I guess I just take 8. This can kill my Catgeist, I guess. Yeah, I guess I might just have to make the blocks here just to survive. It's not very good, though. I guess the Catgeist might as well block since he can just use the 1/1 to finish it off. It's really bad. I guess I'll just take it like this. I should tap this down pre-combat. I messed up. But next turn I'm prioritize a double spell. I'm not sure if I can beat Howlpack Avenger. I would just need to kill him and we should be fine. I'm not sure how, though. I guess I just need to keep making it daytime, I guess. And he can just use Stansia Uprising to maybe burn me out. So I'm not in a good spot here. Infantry, so I definitely want a double spell to transform it. So let's play infantry here, draw a card. And this way I can still chump block Avenger and survive. And we might as well play Screaming Swarm to be mana efficient. So yeah, he managed to top deck that when it was nighttime, so not good. And then I'm still fine swinging for 4 here. And do I want to mill myself or mill the opponent? If I mill myself, I still have some auras. I'm going to mill the opponent and hope he doesn't get an aura disturb card into the yard. That's a good mill. Got to get rid of the Reckless Storm Chaser, which was going to be a problem. And then it's going to be daytime. At least we can block everything and still stay alive. So I want to hold on to my spells and not go up and not do anything too risky. And also need to think about Uprising, because if he gets up to 13 permanents, I'm in trouble. So that last turn I made that misplay of not using Beguiler to tap down the 4/4, and that might cost me the game, since I should have been at 13 life in this matchup. With the Tempered Loner, I might be scared of trading it off and dying, killing it, because if I do, it's just going to deal that much damage. So opponent main phase, the search party captain didn't even decide to attack. I guess I might as well Fear of Death on the Ill-Tempered Loner, and by doing so, he won't be able to deal a lot of damage. Okay, attacks with the Ill-Tempered Loner. I think this might be the turn where we might want to kill the Ill-Tempered Loner, since it's just going to be too much damage. So I'm going to double block here. And so this is 4. If I deal 4 damage, the problem is it's going to kill my Screaming Swarm, so maybe it's better off to just put the Catgeist and the infantry in front of this, because he can pump this anyway for 1, and at least we're only dealing 3, and then he can kill the Opportunist, but that's okay, or my Welcoming Vampire. I just don't want this transforming nighttime and becoming a problem. So this is okay. I could have also triple blocked maybe, just in case he had a way to trample and pump. But I'm definitely afraid of this card. Alright, that's fine. So he can deal maybe 3 damage to my face or the Opportunist. Morbid Opportunist also triggers and draws me a card. Okay, he takes a safe route and decides to kill my flyer. Fair enough. Opponent still at 20 permanents. So let's see, let's play land. I think I attack with both and mill him. I can also mill myself to be kind of safe. I might want to keep out the Beguiler. I have 5/9 mana available, so I can still play 2 creatures here and take it slow. I could also play the Drogskull Infantry and enhance the Screaming Swarm and just attack with it and take it from there. So a lot of options. I think we get out the big flyer as a good blocker. I guess we could also use just use Fear of Death. No, he's just going to concede. Alright, fair enough. I was really afraid of the Ill-Temper Loner there for a turn, and I definitely made that misplay. Should have tapped down the Ill-Temper Loner, the 4/4, use Fierce Retribution on the Falconraft Celebrants, and then maybe just block 1/1/1s and hope it just kills my mischievous Catgeist. But that turn was really scary, and I'm happy the opponent actually conceded there. So 2-0. Can we finally get a win streak again? Maybe get the 7 with blue-white finally, instead of going 6-0 and then completely swept. Alright, Welcoming Vanbar can maybe draw some cards, so we'll keep, and then we have a turn 2 Storm Chaser Drake. Gonna play it out here since it just helps us curve out, and that's more important than saving it for value, I think, since we have enough 2 power less in this deck to go off with. Ooh, could actually play the Droxical Infantry, that's probably better. Although the Storm Chaser Drake can fly over if he puts a big ground blocker. So, I mean, I don't mind this trading off either, so kind of interesting here. Which do I care about dying more? This is the safer choice, this is the more evasive choice. I'll play the Infantry. But I'm definitely going to play out Welcoming Vampire over Griff next turn. Hope it doesn't die. Am I fine attacking here? I think I am. He makes a 2/2, but that's okay. Welcoming Vampire can hold this off, and I could run out Griff Rider just to be safe. I'm not sure. I mean, either way, both of these are kind of like I'm playing into either Neonate's Rush or playing into a Braid here. And he doesn't block. That's good. Play Vampire and hope it doesn't die. Then I can just draw a million cards and no blocks here because there's a chance he has a pump trick. I might keep the 2/2 back next turn. Jadar, interesting. Right, so probably just lead with Griff Rider and draw a card. Question is, do I attack for 2 in the air? I mean, I'm taking 2 back from the zombie, but either way, I think he has a combat trick if he decides to swing the 1/1 at us, so I'm just going to attack with the Welcoming Vampire, take 2 from the zombie, and potentially block with the infantry, so he probably has Neonate's Rush. Lightning Wolf is interesting. Attacks with the 2/2 zombie, I guess I'll take it. So I might want to keep up Fierce Retribution next turn for the 4/3. But if I don't have the mana, I might just want to play a random 2-drop. So I don't want to play out Evolving Wilds yet because I do want to hit my land drop. So which one do I want to play out here? Probably fine with the Drake, and then hopefully get another land to Fierce Retribution to 4/3. And that's good, so land is great. So we can find attacking with these 2. Since I want to Fierce the Lightning Wolf, I can also hold up to 2/3 to block the 2/2. And you keep up Fierce Retribution in case of a pump trick, but I'm fine just using it on the Lightning Wolf ASAP since it's just going to deal a ton of damage. Opponent does not attack with Lightning Wolf, funny enough, and he does, okay. That was what I was hoping. So we just drew 2 cards off of the Welcoming Vampire, and yeah, we still have some flyers, so we're in a pretty decent spot, I have to say. Mirror Hall Mimic and maybe copy another flyer, or maybe even Jadar. That can be kind of cool. Let's find our black mana first. So what do we want to copy here? Maybe just another random flyer, or an infantry. Not sure that's even good. It doesn't matter. I think we just want to copy a flyer, right? And then the flyer want to copy his Griff Rider since I can train onto it eventually and just attack for 4. We're still taking 2 per turn, but it's fine. We have the 2/2 to hold everything off. I'm surprised the opponent killed my Aura creature. I don't think that might be a mistake, since if you kill the Aura creature, I can just target your own creature and then make a million copies all day, so I'm not sure if that's correct for my opponents. Opponent just kills my flyer now. So do I want to copy a million Jadars? I guess I can circle confinement on Jadar. I guess I can always just scatter thoughts, confinement on Jadar, and take it from there. Could also Mirror Hall Mimic, just to be mana efficient and just be really annoying against the opponent. I guess if I copy Jadar, the problem is that he's just going to end up getting exiled since it follows the legendary rule. So I think the play might just be maybe confinement and Catgeist. Or Scatter Thoughts to hit my land drop. Maybe Scatter Thoughts is fine. Keep up at least 1 white mana. And hope I get a land over 4 cards, and we did, so I like the Griff and I like the land. Play the land, confine the Jadar, so it stops being a nuisance. And we can still afford to take 2 and block the Doom Dissenter. And we can still play our expensive Screaming Swarm if we want to. Just passes the turn and does nothing. Huh. This is interesting. I still think we attack. He could have like a burn down the house. Could see a removal spell here. And if there is, I can still play Screaming Swarm to follow up. And there's a Flame Blast Bolt, so rip. I think the opponent was waiting until I enchanted it with Mirror Hall Mimic, but I think I'm better off again enchanting the opponent's threats as opposed to my own, since there's cards again like Flame Blast Bolt being annoying. Ritual, alright. I'll take 2. I can put this on upkeep and shuffle, but I have enough resources that I'm fine just playing everything out, so could mirror now just in case he has a stupid thing going on the infantry. On the infantry isn't the worst. Yeah, let's do on the infantry for funds. And then we'll just keep making 2/2 infantries all day. No need to attack. I don't think I even block, to be honest. I could. Blocking isn't the worst. Let's do it. He has a trick. Alright. Just when I thought he didn't have anything, he was holding on to that all along. Alright, that's fine. I still have enough cards in this deck to do a bunch of stuff. So I guess he has a way to get back a creature. Alright, Blood Fountain, he can get back, I guess, the Lightning Wolf, so I can exile the Lightning Wolf, I have to imagine. Yeah, let's just exile Lightning Wolf and play Lantern Bearer, so we basically have everything. And let's get rid of this dumb Lightning Wolf. Play Lantern Bearer, and we should be good. So some more flyers to enchant. Screaming Swarm we can always put back on top of our library. Opponent still has a lot of blood tokens, so he can easily find a spell. But yeah, he's facing down 4 power and flying. Ooh, okay. I mean, you need to deal damage to trigger this, so it's not a good card unless you can punch through and the opponent doesn't realize it. It's okay, I made the same mistake too when I drafted a red-black deck for double feature. Forgot that you need to have the opponent lose life. I mean, not deal combat damage, but have them lose a bit of life. So then, when it ETPs, it can trigger the effect. Not a lot of people read the cards or notices these things. So, Magic can be a really complicated game. So 3-0, we have a pretty good win record so far. We opened up some nice rares, and also splashing Morbid Opportunist, which is actually doing a lot of work. Alright, no blue mana. I don't think I can afford to keep this. Even on the play, it's a little bit too risky. One single blue mana would make this hand pretty amazing, but can't afford to keep. This hand is also not amazing, but we can maybe bomb the Screaming Swarm. We do have Evolving Wilds to shuffle a big flyer back, but I'll definitely keep since we can't really afford to go down to 5, I don't think. And then I'm fine leaving with the Cat Geist, since if they don't deal with it, it can punish them pretty severely by just drawing a million cards, so let's go for it. And then if I miss my land drop, the question is, do I play out the Beggar? I probably might have to, since I still have an Opportunist, which can maybe trigger the Welcoming Vampire, but yeah, if I can just go off with this, this would be pretty amazing. So let's see if the opponent has an answer, or at least a good blocker. And this can make it more likely I can hit my 3rd land drop. Black, okay. Does he have a 2-drop? And in black-red, you always have a 2-drop. Alright, that's not bad. Can play out Storm Chaser Drake, which can maybe help us race, so. And then the Mischievous Cat Geist is the best blocker, because if they don't have anything to follow up, it can easily just enable an attack, so the opponent might be forced to stay back with this. Alluring Suitor, okay. That's a good one, and then we can find our black mana at least here. I probably want to keep up the Fierce Retribution for Alluring Suitor, since it's just such a powerful card that I need to answer, so yeah, it can just become a powerful mana sink later on, so I think I just attack for 2 and then use the Fierce Retribution on Alluring Suitor when it attacks. Otherwise, he can just keep pumping his small creatures and then enabling some powerful attacks while trampling over. So we'll just use the Retribution now and hope it resolves. He still gets to add mana. Oh, never mind. I guess I did it before it happened, so he doesn't get his extra mana, but he does make a 1/1, which is kind of annoying. So we can play Morbid, but I think the right play is Welcoming Vampire, and then next turn we can play Morbid along with it, and then maybe we can even chump. But we're probably happy taking 4 here, and then by playing Morbid Opportunist, if we chump, we get to draw the extra card. So I guess we take 6 and go from there. It's not great, but I don't think I can afford to throw any of my creatures away at this stage in the game. Missing that extra land drop hurts, so might trade off to Drake next turn. Felstinger can draw him some cards. I don't think I can afford to attack with the Drake still. Opponent doesn't even decide to do so. Okay, I'll play the Opportunist, and then now we can trade and chump. And even draw a card. He hits our land drop, so now we can play out Beggar as a good blocker. And a potential card we can also chump with. So probably block the 4/2 or chump. I don't know, maybe double block the 2/3. I'll be taking a lot of damage here. Probably just block the 4/2 and take 5, and then we'll keep this back to chump next turn, since Morbid is just gonna draw us a card here. So just gonna keep taking our time deploying some blockers. Foragers is pretty hard to block, but we can still chump with it. And Harvest Tide Infiltrator, so opponent's just gonna start going off here. I could copy a card here, Felstinger, as a Death Toucher. I can also copy Beloved Beggar, but I think we just want to deploy everything out here so we can have enough blockers and take it from there. Land isn't bad, so I can now land and maybe Mirror Hall Mimic. What do I Mirror Hall Mimic? Maybe Morbid Opportunist to draw an extra card. I don't hate that, but the 2/3 is a problem. We might have to just take some damage and chump still. I'm going to have some fun here. Let's copy Morbid Opportunist, and then we'll say go. And now this could be a time to trade off Welcoming Vampire if we're drawing a million cards. Interloper, so we do need the flyer back to block. The Harrier is going to be a problem though, since it can make a creature unable to block. I can play Beguiler just to be mana efficient, or take the risk with the Griff Rider. I think it's Beguiler still. And then keep drawing cards. Play land. And then say go. He can make the 2-3 unable to block and hit me for 3. I do have a Griff Rider that can maybe trade off. Yeah, he's probably going to do that and just starts working me in the sky since he doesn't really have any good ground attacks. I can always tap down one of his flyers next turn too. So we'll take 3. And hopefully draw more cards. I can even copy the Welcoming Vampire eventually and with my Morbid and take it from there. Beguiler is interesting. I think it's still Griff Rider. Or maybe never mind Heron. Heron's nice since it doesn't draw me a card, but I can still tap down the 2-1 and have an extra blocker back, so that's okay. I guess I might even tap down the 4-4 to be honest. Celebrants, sure. And I probably just want to tap down the 4-4 here because it has a pretty good attack. So I guess I can still block the 4-4. So never mind, we'll just say go. And then end of turn we can tap down, I don't know, the flyer to attack. I'm not sure. Tap down the Death Toucher. Doesn't accomplish anything, but it's okay. Scatter Thoughts. Probably want to play Griff Rider first, I have to imagine. And then keep up Scatter Thoughts, keep up Nebelgast Beguiler, play more flyers. And Lantern Bearer is a nice pickup. Alright, I'll play out Lantern Bearer. It doesn't draw me the card, but I might need the extra blocker in case he can activate Harrier twice eventually, so we'll say go. And then if the opponent attacks, do I tap anything down? I guess it's daytime. I can still double block the Celebrants. So I'm still in a fine shape here to not even activate the Beguiler. I'm hoping he doesn't have a way to make his creature unblockable. That's okay. I get to draw 2 cards. And then if he activates Lambhole Terrier, I can still tap down the creature, or I guess he can attack before blocks happen. So do I want to use the Beguiler? The Beguiler is a good blocker. If he activates the Lambhole, I can still block, so I think we just say go. Opponent. Alright, and this is okay. We can play land, and then we can still deploy more bodies, so we'll cast Storm Chaser Drake first because it's the cheapest. Yeah, we're just digging through our library. And we can even play out Soul Guide Griffin, keep up our mana, so this is good. And then I guess I can start being aggressive now. The Luring Suitor can probably go. The pump effect is annoying, and if he can buy back, it's pretty bad. So I guess now we can move to combat. And then, do I send in 2 creatures? He can only activate the Lambhole Harrier once. And I can still tap down a blocker, or maybe not. I don't know, let's just attack him for 5. I think I need to kind of close out this game before the opponent top decks like a burn spell to kill me. And then the opponent can still use Lambhole Terrier to make something unable to block, but I can still just tap down. I guess he can move the combat attack and then use it. A Flame Blessed Bolt, okay, that's kind of annoying, so he can still use Lambhole Terrier, I can still tap something down. Or just take 2. Or just take 1. It's not the end of the world. And I get to still draw 2 cards off of these Opportunists. Surprised the opponent is not getting aggressive with his Death Touchers, because by now he could have easily attacked and I would have been forced to do some weird double blocks. In fact, Epicure dealing 1 damage to me, okay. I mean, he still can't activate the Lambhole Terrier, so I think we're still in a decent shape here. Not sure, it doesn't matter what I tap here. So we can lead with maybe Infantry, I guess. Can use black mana. And then we can make an extra flyer with Falcon and still keep up Scatter Thoughts mana or Beguiler. Guess we can move to combat and then find sending in Griff, find sending in, I guess, the Welcoming Vampire. He can make one of my flyers unable to block, I guess, which can be kind of annoying, so I might want to play it safe and just attack for 3. Not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 attackers, and so opponent has 9 attackers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blockers. He can make 1 creature unable to block, and that will put me down to 11. In terms of flyers, he has 2 of them. I can still afford to attack with 1, but 1 of them will have to trade. I guess I can still afford to attack with Welcoming Vampire and take it from there. Because I do need to again close out this game in a timely fashion. The Menace is annoying though, so I might need to reconsider that play. And does he use a Lamphold Harrier here? I guess he might use Famished Foragers. So if he uses Famished Foragers, no reason for me to even do anything here. If he moves to combat, the question is, okay, the Harvester is okay. So let's see, if the opponent attacks, I think I'll still be able to survive. I can still double block and chump reasonably well. So let's see here. Next turn, is it lethal? If I tap down the 1/1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is lethal. So I think the safe route here is to is just to tap down the Celebrants, since I'm guaranteed to win this anyways. Opponent says go, and remember this can't block, so what I can do now is tap down the flyer, and then attack with all my flyers, and that's game. I think the opponent didn't realize it, so alright. Just too much card advantage and value. Opponent had a solid Black-Red Vampires deck though, it was really pretty scary. But we managed to stabilize, and I think the right choice was for him to attack with the 2/3 over and over, or at least some of the Death Touchers, or at least the Fellstinger. Fellstinger we had a good block for, but for the Tainted Adversary we were pretty much forced to throw a 3/3 in front of it, or double block it, so not sure why the opponent stopped attacking with it, since it would have been a pretty easy 2-for-1. The auras, however, I guess was gonna a bit of a concern, since if I made a large enough creature with the aura, I could eventually block everything. So I guess that's an argument for doing so. But either way, I'd still have to 2-for-1 myself to deal with the Tainted Adversary. All right, so 4-0. Our deck is doing very well. So 1 more win, and we can make back our gems. Maybe 3 more wins, and then we can make at least 2,500, and maybe fire off another double feature. Samuel Black, really? I get to face against one of the pro Magic players and a great limited player all around. Alright, it's a decent hand to keep at least, so we're facing against Sam Black. And it's not going to be an easy game, I don't think, so... Same arguments, I could always lead with Drogskull, but now he plays a 1/3. I can either confine it or play Stormchaser Drake. I think I play Drake. There's much more scarier things to confine. And decide whether or not I want to take out the Larder Zombie next turn. Which probably don't want to. I could attack for 2, could see a Fierce Retribution. I'm fine baiting that out. There's no Beguilers I need to be afraid of. Adversary, I'm fine with the trade, since it's an annoying card anyways, so let's get this out of the way, play Infantry. Next turn we can decide to maybe confine the 1/3 and attack. Or just keep up Scatter Thoughts. I think I'd rather do the mana efficient play instead of being aggressive here. Opponent's also Esper colors, so maybe splashing some single color bombs themselves. Use a Scatter Thought, see if it resolves. And alright, I don't mind getting an extra play island, maybe playing a 5-drop, and then these 2 in the yard aren't too bad since I don't have much to discard. A 1-mana Lantern Bearer isn't going to accomplish much, although, yeah, maybe I do just, yeah, I do need to get my 2nd island for sure. And then I could ditch the Faithful Mending or ditch the Lantern Bearer. Interesting. The Lantern Bearer does give me a 1/1, but not sure if it's going to accomplish much. I guess Faithful Mending can help us prevent more flood. So I'll take the Faithful Mending instead, even though I can flashback it back. And then, do I just play out the Soulblight Gryph? It can easily get countered. There can also be another, whatchamacallit? Another Scar Thoughts. I guess I could Lantern Bearer my 2/2 in attack, and that's okay. I think I'm fine with that. Instead of tapping out for Soulblight Gryph, this way if he kills my 2/2, I can still use the aura later. Flip the switch is pretty good. Alright. That's better than getting my Soulblight Gryph countered. And I'll play a Catgeist. And say go. Opponent's playing an instant speed deck, so probably going to see more counter spells. I could Confine to 1/3 now, I guess, and that will maybe bait out a spell. So, do I want to play out land first? Might want to keep land for Faithful Mending. But another land isn't the worst. Let's just try to exile the 1/3 and see how the opponent responds. If he lets it resolve, he could have the 3/3 flash creature. But I do want to punish him, and I can pay for this, so let's pay for this and then hope it resolves still. And he has a second syncopate, so alright, at least we managed to bait out the counter spells. So we can say go, and then opponent can start activating Larder Zombie, but it's not like it's drawing him cards. So let's just hope he runs out of counter spells. And I can maybe resolve a Gryph and start attacking, so many colors, so maybe splashing multiple bombs. Ooh, unfortunately milled away his Consuming Blob, which would have been a problem. So I'm hoping he doesn't have an extra counter spell here. I guess I can just resolve Screaming Swarm, and if it gets countered, I can just get it back eventually, so this is fine. So go. I don't really want to mill the opponent for sure, since, I mean, he could have stuff in the yard. That's why he's playing Eccentric Farmer, Lunar Rejection to buy some time. Sure, some more cheap instances. But again, it doesn't really kill anything. Opponent decides to attack. No. I can easily double block it. I guess I can't play around Syncopate anyway, so I might as well run out Screaming Swarm and maybe it gets countered, who knows. He's holding a priority of the Larder Zombie. And I'll keep land in hand in case I need to discard the Faithful Mending, so this is fine. And then we're just gonna keep attacking. And I don't feel like it's right to mill him, because he is actively using Larder Zombie in cards like Eccentric Farmer. But maybe might be fine. But I think next turn I could just attack for 4, mill myself, and maybe cast Soulblight Gryph to maybe exile an annoying Consuming Blob. Scatter Thoughts, okay. Eventually he'll run out of stuff, I have to imagine. But you can see the power of Flip the Switch being able to make these 2/2 zombies for Larder Zombie to combo with. Maybe I should play land next last turn too. Have at least 2 mana Faithful Mending up, but I still don't think it's worth discarding spells at this stage unless they have Disturb. Ooh, Path to the Peril milled, so at least we don't have to play around the Sweeper. But it must be something better if he had to discard Path. Maybe another bounce spell, another removal spell, who knows. Stitch Assistant is fine, alright, that's okay. The question is, do I want to mill him? He's kind of low on cards already, so I could actually mill him, and that's not too bad. But at the same time, I do have some Disturb cards I don't mind getting back as Aura, so I think I still mill myself. But yeah, first things first, let's move to combat. Attack for 4, and then I think I mill myself. Yeah, it's kind of scary. I mean, he's drawing so many cards, I could actually mill him. Yeah, you know what? Let's mill him. Let's have some fun. Let's mill him. Ooh, mill DL. That's a good mill. So let's say he can buy back a creature. So I definitely want to add more board presence. So I'm gonna play out the Soulblight Gryph. And the question is, what do I exile from the graveyard? It would have to be a creature that he can buy back, and the card that I'm most afraid of him buying back is probably Spectral Adversary. Yeah, since he can just tap a bunch of blue mana and phase everything out, so we'll say go. And we can even Faithful Mending it of turn. And then we can even mill him out, hopefully. I'm not sure if that's correct still. But yeah, there's no Flashback or Disturb I need to worry about too much. And I'm not sure if I need to add any more flyers to the library anymore into the battlefield, since he could be splashing multiple sweepers, and that can be kind of difficult to deal with, and he does. Alright, rip. We can always upkeep, bring back Screaming Swarm. So the question is, do I want a Faithful Mending now, or do it on my upkeep? I think I can do it now, and then we can easily just get back Screaming Swarm later, so we'll Faithful Mending here. And then discarding 2 lands isn't the worst. And then on my upkeep, maybe just get back Screaming Swarm, since it's just a powerful win condition. And then draw a card, play out land, play out Beguiler, and hope he's out of sweepers. So I actually don't mind actively milling this opponent, because by doing so, we can easily, again, just deal with it. And then I'm hoping he doesn't have an exile effect, so we'll just keep playing out Screaming Swarm and hope it resolves without being syncopated. I guess it's Devious Cover-Up. Alright, I can't beat Sam Black, he's just too good. Devious Cover-Up, yeah, this is rough. And this prevents him from being decked, and it also exiles Screaming Swarm, so yeah, this is probably just game over. I can't beat you, Sam Black, you're just too good. He could also just be faking it. I can never beat him. Alright, yeah, it's good games. I'm not going to play around Devious Cover-Up at this stage in the game, you got it. I should maybe wait a while before I play again. But yeah, I can't really afford to beat him if he has Devious Cover-Up. The only hope was to maybe hopefully mill his Devious Cover-Up, but the fact that he had a second sweeper outside of Path to Peril was really not a game I could win. Because it was kind of suspicious why he milled the Path, when in fact he already had a buy invitation only in his hand, so it's not a card you want to mill, especially when you're behind. Or I mean, put in the graveyard with Scatter Thoughts. So he definitely had another sweeper, but I don't think I could afford to play around it. Alright, let's hope we don't queue up against Sam Black again. Let's play. Sam Black would have been better as a final boss. Alright, it's not Sam Black. That's good. Don't need to run against a 5-color counterspell deck that I have no idea playing against. Right, Catgeist, Griff Rider, keep. On the play, it's nice to have access to Catgeist, although now with the Persistent Specimen, I probably don't want to play Catgeist, although by playing Catgeist, this may prevent him from attacking. Either way, I think I still run out the Catgeist here. So, you know, this can maybe force him to stay back a little bit more. Bloodcaster, do I trade that off? No blocks. Surprised he attacked. I think I'm fine attacking with the Geist now. If he trades, though he makes a blood token, I still draw a card. So, that was an interesting attack. Not sure what that was for. I can trade Griff Rider for Bloodcaster, which I also don't mind. That's a strange attack. I think I block. Opponent's not even playing around any removal spells that I might have. Okay, Stinger makes sense. I'm fine again trading off this Bloodcaster, otherwise it's just gonna make him too much blood. Oh, I can Confinement this turn. That's nice. And also draw a card. Yeah, you really can't allow Catgeist to get in for free constantly. Otherwise there's just too much advantage to hit my land drops and find more playable, so... Very surprised the opponent decided to get aggressive with the specimens into Bloodcaster, since it's not a card you want to trade for Catgeist. Alright, wow, Bleed Rise Catgeist, I'll take that. Wow, really respecting it now, so make sure you keep that specimens back next time, opponent. That was a huge misplay that he gave me the extra card, so not sure if there's any sweepers. Usually black-white is the color of sweepers. There's a red sweeper though that I might be concerned about, but if he's gonna buy back a Bleed Dry, this might represent he doesn't have a sweeper, so I'm tempted to just play Screaming Swarm, but it getting exiled is kind of problematic. So maybe I'm fine leading with Beggar, but yeah, you know what? Let's just play it out. Fuck it. I know I'm giving him a target, but then he's going to be taking 5, and by playing Beggar, it does slow me down. Yep. Use your removal spell, opponents. Fear of Death. I can mill with Fear of Death. Not sure if I want to though. It could potentially draw me into something good. I think I'm going to do it here. Nothing. Alright, at least it got rid of some lands and a larder zombie that wasn't quite useful at this stage in the game. Flip the switch, alright. That's a good one to have him discard. Might want to be careful with attacking the Drake next turn if there's 5 open mana, because there's a chance he could flash in something. Organ Hoarder's fine. I can block that all day. And doesn't get anything. Alright, yeah, I think the opponent should have just kept the specimens back that turn. Don't understand why he wanted to attack. So just gave me 2 cards for free. I mean, it gave me 1 card for free, and then I guess I had to Confinement the poison, the Fell Stinger, but I still got value off of the second attack, so Catgeist is a nice 2-drop to have early. Not so much in the late game, other than maybe a chump blocker that you can enhance onto one of your flyers, but still a card that I did take over, whatchamacallit, Revenge of the Drowned, which in a pure vacuum, I don't think that's correct. Like, overall, I think Revenge is just better than Catgeist, but in a deck that's already had, like, Storm Chaser Drake and is blue-white for sure, and doing the whole aura synergy thing, I think it was the right choice to take. So yeah, 5 and 1 now. Let's try to get to 7. Opening hand, no blue mana. I think this is a mulligan, as much as I like keeping black for a potential whatchamacallit, the guy that's Morbid Opportunist. This is a little bit sketchy. I guess I do have 2-mana Fierce Retribution early on. Maybe it's fine keeping. I'm not sure. I really don't like the mull, and we're on a draw. Yeah, you know what? Let's try it. This could be terrible, but hey, we have infantry on too, so it's not the worst. And then we just need to draw a single island to get this active, and we did. So I could play Storm Chaser Drake. It can get countered by Syncopate, but not a lot of people run that. So I think I'm fine running this out, especially since I'm locked in blue mana, and I have a bunch of blue spells in hand. This way, next turn we can still double spell with Larder Zombie and Infantry. Hobbling Zombies, I don't mind trading my Aura for that, or I can just tap out for Griff Rider, I suppose, and just take 2. It's never wrong being mana efficient. Let's just pull out the flyers and try to race, and then we can deploy our ground blockers the next following turn, or even mimic one of our flyers to be even more annoying. Opportunist, okay, so that was the card I was talking about. So let's play land. I guess I can copy Morbid Opportunist. Yeah, let's just do that then. And I can still block his Opportunist and still draw cards if any of these die, so yeah, that was a really nice turn. Definitely going to take 2. And I'm hoping he doesn't exile this or lock this down. I'm definitely blocking here. Scavenger, alright. And nothing in the graveyard, so opponent just developing the board just to get it out. So we can easily play Larder Zombie. And we can play Infantry and keep up Fierce Retribution, which is nice. And then I can still trade the Infantry for the Hobbling Zombie. Not sure if I need to, though. But I could see myself using Fierce Retribution on the Diregraph Scavenger, or maybe just use it next turn for the Morbid Opportunist. So I could just take 4 here, attack back for 2, and then use the Surveil and then kill his Morbid Opportunist next turn to prevent him from getting card advantage. So there's an argument for just... Or I can just trade for the Hobbling Zombie, but he still makes a 2/2. I don't know. I think I can afford to take 4. Ditching Syncopate. I mean, it would be mana efficient to get this out of the way, but at the same time, just killing Opportunists is worth it. And opponent just passes his turn and doesn't even decide to attack, so that's good for us. And we get to Surveil. And what do we find? Infantry I can put in the yard, which I don't hate. I actually don't mind that in the yard, so then I can enhance one of my flyers later. I guess I can just do that next turn, in fact. And this way it puts him into a 2-turn clock. And I still have access to Fierce, and I still draw a card. Yeah, this is fine. Over Fierce Retribution on Opportunist, which is kind of pricey, but this still puts him on a quick clock, which I can easily end. So he needs to kill both flyers next turn, and stuck at 4 mana, that doesn't seem like it's possible, so... And in blue-black, there's no sweeper, so this is fine. Do I even need to block? I don't think so. Journal's pretty bad, so yeah, it's not going to do it. Alright, awesome. We're getting there. 6-1. We can finally redeem ourselves after the first draft video, which went 6-0 and just flopped. So hope we don't face against 2 Samuel Blacks in a row. Otherwise, we're never going to get there. But yes, we are doing it. And I do have enough time for a second double feature, although I do want to eat some of my dessert, which is happily chilling in the fridge. So I might have to grab it quickly, or just do the draft quickly, and then grab some of my nice chocolate mousse cake. So let's do this. Final boss. Let's go. And I have no doubt that Morbid Opportunist is possibly the highest winning uncommon for the set. It's just too good. And so far, all of our starting hands were really good. That one game we even decided not to mulligan because we were on a draw. Was a little bit risky, but we still managed to hit our island luckily enough. And this hand, well, we do have Storm Chaser Drake, and we're on the play. I mean, come on, one planes. Can we believe in it? I believe. Let's go. This is the final boss. We can't really afford to mulligan. We need to beat him down and get our white mana. Just one white. Come on. Ooh, opponent gets both of his colors, unlike us. I might just keep this back to trade, since we're kind of tied on mana. It's not great, but maybe I still do so. The fact that he can bring this back as a 2/2 flyer, maybe it's not worth it, yeah. This is a card that I'm better off maybe confining with Circle. So yeah, we can easily lose now because I kept a sketchy hand. Ancestor, that's a problem. Ooh, white mana, there we go. So do I play infantry or do I confine the Malevolent Hermit? If I trade for the infantry, I can then aura onto Storm Chaser Drake, which is interesting. I could also Faithful Mending, actually. Faithful and Mending also wouldn't be wrong, and if I do the main phase, I can still, yeah, this makes it more likely I hit my land drops, and I think I'm fine doing this. And I do want my land. I do have some 5s. I can discard both of these, which I can get back for value later. So let's do this. And attack for 2. And then opponent might tap out, might not. If he doesn't tap out, okay, attacks. Organ Hoarder's pretty good, but Geiler can maybe hold off the ground now. I could also take a risk and play infantry and enchant and attack, but I think we just want to be mana efficient here and play out Beguiler. And I think I attack for 2 since I don't really want to trade for Organ Hoarder. Opponent can still attack with the Ancestor to gain some life. Quartermaster makes it difficult for me to block, but I can at least block at least 4 power here and prevent taking 3. Play lands, so now I can keep up the activated ability. I guess I don't hate Geist. I could also infantry here and maybe exile the 2/1. Infantry draws me a card. Maybe still Heron Blessed Geist and tap down the 3/3 flyer, or tap down the 4/3 because I want to trade for the 3/3 flyer. Maybe that's better. Or maybe I can just say go and then not tap anything down since this blocks well. Yeah, maybe I don't need to tap anything down. We'll just say go, and then we can easily block the 4/3 and end of turn tap something down. He could have a trick here, but I still think I'm blocking it with the Heron Blessed Geist, and we're fine taking 3. I could also double block, but I think dealing the flyer immediately is the most important, and then we're still fine taking 3 here. So let's do this block and take 3. And hope he doesn't have a trick, which he probably does. Starlord is a really good one. Alright, that's unfortunate. Tap down the Hermit for... I don't know why, there wasn't really any need to. But yeah, this final boss has a really good deck. But we can still get there, I believe. We can even, if we get on Aura, we can also get out some 1/1 flyers, which can be key. Wrathkeeper is also quite good. But Beloved Beggar can also start blocking the ground, which is nice. So I think Beloved Beggar comes out, and we have 4 mana available. Could draw a card and take it from there, and that's not wrong. He doesn't have any Disturb in the graveyard. I could also use my Circle of Confinement, but I don't have the rest of the mana to do anything else. Could also, yeah, I think it's just on the Storm Chaser Drake, and therefore we have some good blockers now. I guess he can counter it. I still draw cards, so that's okay. I forgot this was 1 mana. Alright, I messed up a bit. But either way, it wasn't too different from Circle, and we still get to draw a card, and we'll say go. Can take 3, can block the rest of the ground creatures. And plays a... Ooh, I guess he can tap. Never mind, I messed this game up. I'm going to concede. You got it. Yeah. Yeah, it was a fine starting opener, and we drew our white mana, but the opponent's deck was just too synergistic and powerful, and I'm not sure if that was even a misplay when I used the Aura. Since I had nothing but a bunch of non-creature spells in the yard to get back regardless, and at least, I mean, I guess at least I could have maybe bait out the counter spell and use the Beguiler to tap something down, but the Beguiler is meant to tap down the 4/3 anyway. So it was a combination of not only the opponent having a better deck, but maybe the Malevolent Hermit being able to counter was kind of brutal. So that was rough. I think we lose. At 10 life, we were just really behind, and then it was difficult to block the 3/3 flyer, and if he was going to make the 3/5 unable to block, sure, I can trade my 3/3 for the 4/3 and survive one more turn, but I'd be pretty far behind. So let's try to get the 7 wins and not get swept again. Let's go. I believe. Just had to unfortunately face against, again, a better deck, Organ Hoarders, Malevolent Hermits, Angelic Quartermaster, which we do have, but he also had like Kindly Ancestor and Devoted Graphkeeper, which was a excellent 2-drop that we could have also used in this type of deck as well. And we're facing against a gold opponent, so gold opponent, please give us our 7 wins. This hand isn't the worst. We are on the draw. We have Circle to answer maybe something early. I have a feeling we can get a 2-drop or 3-drop. Let's do it again. I don't like to mull. Ooh, there it is. Evolving Wallet, so we can turn 3. Morbid Opportunist. Can find maybe an annoying 2-drop, but not even a 2-drop, so that's even better. Get our Swamp. And then get out the white mana, I have to assume, and then next turn we can Morbid. And hope it survives. Usually, green-white doesn't have any damage base removal, so I think it's fine just running out the Opportunist and taking it from there, and then next turn we can even copy it to be even more annoying. Rejuvenator, kind of scary. I could also be cute and copy his Rejuvenator, but I should have enough mana to do everything in this deck, so let's just copy up Opportunist and then draw a million cards once we're able to have something die. So we can just draw 2 cards per turn, and if this dies, we can still draw 1 card. So we could see a Hunter's Mark here, and there it is, Clear Shot. So I'm actually happy that I copied it before it happened. Opponent can attack for 3, but I'm still going to draw some cards. So let's see, we can play land. Could Faithful Mending, discard these 2, but we don't have anything good to follow up. So it's probably just Heron Blessed Geist, and then I don't think we're attacking because he could have Fierce Retribution and Ziggo. I don't think it's worth losing my Morbid just to deal 1 damage. The trade-off isn't worth it. And green-white also just doesn't have a ton of things that I care about flashbacking or exiling, so I could also just run out Soulguide Gryph next turn. Exile the Clear Shot in case there's some strange way he can get back, maybe with like a Dryad's Revival. Cavalry is kind of hard to deal with. So I guess I can still attack for 3, take 5 next turn, or chump block with a Lantern Bearer, draw a card, and then play out Soulguide Gryph. Seems like it might be worth it here. And then exile the Clear Shot, chump with the Lantern Bearer, draw a card, and hope he doesn't get Coven, because if he has Coven, he can trample over, which could be a problem. And he has Sigarda, that's even worse. Now with Coven, alright, so we're pretty much screwed. Why did the final boss have to do this to us? I can still block the 3/5. And then I could chump to draw a card, not sure if that's worth it. Probably not. 6/6. Next turn we can Faithful Mending and maybe find something. Not sure what it is though. I guess I can put some auras. Probably want the second planes. Yeah, I guess we just discard this. I mean, I could discard a Welcoming Vampire. I don't think that's worth it. If I discard double planes, I can't cast anything. Let's just discard these 2. And I think this turn we actually play land. And since Welcoming Vampire isn't going to get anything, I guess I can also exile the Bird Admirer. Not sure if it's worth it. Yeah, this is rough. Maybe I just need to be mana efficient and throw out the Drogskill Infantry. Maybe chump and draw a card, or Confinement and attack, although I don't have any good attacks. Maybe it's just the Blessed Geist, since the Blessed Geist we can always get back if we get an aura in the graveyard, so let's just do this and maybe set up a good block in Ziggo. Maybe I just need to double block the Cavalry, and hope he just doesn't have another removal spell. Storm the Festival is fine, it doesn't actually, it's not actually a combat trick, although now with double Candlelight Cavalry, this is going to be a little bit rough. Opponent has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana available. I think I'm forced to double block here, and then hopefully make some 1/1 flyers and take it from there. Yeah, I think I'm forced to double block. And he's... yeah, I don't want to lose my Lantern Bearer just yet. And hope he doesn't have a 2-mana trick. And if any of these dies, I still get to draw a card. So please don't have anything. Right, we can just still draw a card, so it's not over yet. And that buys me an extra turn. And the Mischievous Catgeist isn't bad, so now I guess I can Welcoming Vampire. 2-mana Catgeist. And then, do I want a Fateful Mending end of turn, or do I want to Circle Confinement the 2/5? Might just want to circle this, because it can just add up. And I don't really want to discard anything with Faithful, although Faithful drawing me cards isn't the worst. I still can chump block and survive. Maybe I just fire this off now. Although again, drawing cards isn't the worst, and gaining some life in case I get run over, and this is more mana efficient. I'll say go. This could be wrong. But it's not like the Birdmire is supposed to attack in this matchup anyways. So if this becomes nighttime, I can't really block it, so I might need to just chump with the Catgeist to get this out of the way. Knife is a problem. And he also has Trample. But I can't block, I can't kill Mariner and Cavalry, so I need to make a decision here. Maybe we just need to chump Hookhand Mariner and try to kill the Cavalry and take it from there. So this is a little bit rough. So yeah, let's pass. I could also just take the hit. So I feel like the Welcoming Vampire has to die, or yeah, the Vampire can die, or so I had to choose between which one wants to stay alive, the Vampire or the Morbid Opportunist, because I do need to kill this. Otherwise, the trample just adds up. So how much power do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 power. So we can still chump with 1 and or take 5 and trade everything off, or I guess we can just take 7 and block everything here. But this is just going to add up, so I think we need to trade it off, and then we could just do this, I guess. 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7 damage is going to kill this and this. We still get to keep our 1/1s, but if it becomes nighttime, this is a problem, but I can still double spell next following turns. It's not looking good here. I think I need to keep up the Welcoming Vampire because it's just the extra power that can maybe help me block, potentially. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's try this. Take 5. And hope he doesn't again have another instant to go off with. And then we can still Faithful Mending end of turn. And we can still make some 1/1 flyers if we get an aura onto the battlefield. So yeah, it's not great, but you can't keep taking hits from this, and the opponent's deck is also just an insane deck. Please no instant to blow me out, opponent. Alright, this is fine. So we'll let damage happen first. And Morbid Opportunist I don't think triggers, does it? Alright, okay, I guess it triggers once. That's fine, we can still draw a card, and then I guess I might as well Faithful Mending end of turn just so I don't, I can find more resources. Burly Breaker, wow, even more big stuff, but at least we can chump those. Ooh, alright, so this is decent. Do I get rid of Scatter Thoughts? I think I need to deploy flyers. Alright, so Circle can't deal... I guess the game plan might just be to circle the Admire, kill the Sigarda, and start attacking. So I need to discard 2 cards, which is kind of rough. So maybe Falcon and Scattered Thoughts can go. Or maybe the Storm Chaser Drake. Storm Chaser can draw me cards. I guess I can Mirror Hall Mimic now. Yeah, I guess I can Mirror Hall Mimic all day now. Let's just get rid of this. I forgot that this wasn't a yard. I'm kind of stupid. So, do we just mimic Burly Breaker, maybe? Or maybe the Hookhand Mariner, since we can just chump it all day. So we can play lands. I guess this has Ward 1. Yeah, we might just have to copy the Hookhand Mariner, actually. And I could flash it back, but maybe it's better off to confine the Burdenmire now. Or play out Storm Chaser Drake, draw a card, maybe chump or double block. And then use Fierce Retribution. We're definitely chumping this. But we want to keep up Fierce Retribution for sure, so maybe I just want to play a Storm Chaser Drake to cash in the Welcoming Vampire if I need to block with it. And then I think I keep up my mana and Ziggo. And then we can still chump both of these, or at least put everything in front of this, and then just make a million Hookhand Mariners and take it from there. Or I can still take 5, so this is a very close match. Could see a removal spell. I guess he top decked a removal spell, 5, 6, 7, 8, so he needs 2 more lands to activate Storm, which is still a long way to go. But I need to save Fierce for Sigarda. So at least I can still chump block for a couple of turns. Maybe I can enhance Storm Chaser Drake with an enchantment and draw. Heron Blessed Geist can also draw me some cards next turn in chump block, so I can still chump block and do nothing all day. Eventually I can trade off the Mariner or block it. The knife is a problem though, so he can keep making blood. Yeah, okay, so he's gonna make this into a 3/4, so I need to exile it, and then this is fine. We can kill Sigarda. And hope this resolves. And then we get to shrink down his human army, which is not bad too. So we don't have to take too much damage. And then now, let's see, we definitely want to chump the 6/5. I don't want to lose this, so we'll block here. And then we can just take 6 and then use a chump blocker for next turn, just maybe stay alive. So, or I can just double block the Rejuvenator, or I guess we can still take out the Burdenmire to at least get rid of it. Or maybe the Dawnheart Rejuvenator. I guess we can take out the Rejuvenator, because this can be a little bit problematic if we can flashback Storm the Festival. So we can do this instead, and then block here, and take it from there. Yeah, let's just do this. Take 6. And again, we can still confine Burdenmire. And he has a fucking Crushing Canopy. Are you serious? Oh my god. Are we ever going to redeem ourselves? I don't think so, but we can at least crap out 4/4s all day and chump block maybe. But it's not looking good here. Beloved Beggar isn't bad. Alright. Let's just get rid of this Burdenmire now before it transforms. We can play a Beloved Beggar, might as well. And then we can at least flashback some 1/1s. And then we still have chump blockers to hold off the 4/4, and we can still keep making 4/4s end of turn, so we're still fine. I guess we can make a 6/6 flyer now, so it's not game over yet. I mean a 4/4 flyer. If he didn't have Crushing Canopy, we'd be pretty far ahead still, just drawing cards, but yeah, I think this was the turn where we have to stabilize, otherwise we just lose. Can still block the 2/4. I think we were kind of maybe forced to throw this under the bus, just so we have a good creature that can maybe trade off next turn. We can still chump the Mariner. The 4/4 can hold off the 2/4. I guess I can still double block here, and then chump the 4/4. to get this out of the way. I guess that's not bad. So I think we can maybe win this if we are careful here. So yeah, I'm fine throwing these two under the bus. That way we don't have to keep dealing with this, and hope he doesn't have another trick. But he would have used a blood token, right? Yeah, he would have used a blood token, so he probably has something here. This sucks, but alright, I still get to keep crapping out 4/4s all day, so let's hope he just keeps missing. Alright. He still makes blood, but at least this is gone now. And I guess I can now start drawing cards. Alright, Tofu Initiate is a problem, because if he can remove 2 counters onto this, he can easily go off. Ooh, but Storm Chaser Drake is nice, so we can Storm Chaser Drake, Catgeist onto it, draw a card, and also play Traveling Minister, so we can just keep going off now. And hope we don't deck ourselves. I should be careful about decking myself, so just do this, play out this, and then take it slow. And I can even hit for 1, I think. We should be fine. I need to be careful not to deck myself, but I think we can maybe grind him out. Since the opponent doesn't want lands anymore, the Storm the Festival isn't going to do much. This can destroy the enchantment, I guess, but he can only get off 1 attack with it. So I think we're still in fine shape here. So let's gain some life. Move the combat. And I think I need to start zerging him with my flyers. And we should have enough blockers, so let's go. And hope he doesn't have some sort of random trick here. And Screaming Swarm is nice, so yeah, we can even mill the opponent if we want to, so they're running away with the game, and that's what we want. And this is also 6/5 that can maybe trade, so I definitely need to block his Riphook Mariner here, although he can gain life with it, which is kind of annoying. But I still think it's correct trading now. Otherwise, I'll be just taking too much, and I'll easily die if something goes wrong. So we can block the 2/2, we can use the 4/4 to block the 6/4, and take it from there. So I can easily see blocking here, and we still get to make a 6/4 out of deal. Flare Faith, okay, I mean, we still make a 6/6. Surprised the opponent didn't try to lifelink this first to offset the damage, but now we can maybe keep punishing him here. And then I'm still fine drawing some cards, and I think I'm fine milling the pump, but the opponent just concedes, realizes he should have you gained some life. So, alright, we got the final boss, and that was definitely a scary one. Not often do you beat 2 Candlelit Cavalries with a bunch of 1/1 blockers, and Sigarda, Champion of the Light, on the battlefield. But alright, that was a really good draft, and also a very good final boss. So a lot of good games. Let's do another draft maybe, or just call it, I don't know. This is almost already a 2-hour video. We finally get 7 wins, Jesus. I mean, most are even with with good cards and good packs. I mean, it's just so hard to get to 7 in this format. Luckily, they give us at least 3 chances to do so. But yeah, not a bad deck. We picked Morbid Opportunist pretty early, and I think there was a pack where you had to take the Evolving Wilds for Morbid, and I think it was worth it, given how powerful of an uncommon it is. So yeah, always splash Morbid in your decks. And we didn't even sideboard once, and that was fine. The Larder Zombie did some work. Even managed to discard an Aura in one of our games and get in for lethal. So yeah, not a bad 7-win deck. Even had to face against Sam Black. 2 final opponents were definitely very scary too. But yeah, we managed to get there, and we can collect our gems. 2,500. Definitely a far cry from. No, actually, it's a lot more than 7 wins with Premier Draft, and I think, since the packs that you get only give you 20 gems, so yeah, it's worth it. But it's a little bit more